Let me be real clear. Everybody has a way of being in this world. You do, I do, the guy next to you does, the woman at the store does, the woman you work with does. Everybody has a way of being in this world. And everybody's a little different. It's true, we are like snowflakes. Everybody's different. And everybody makes a statement. I do a lot of speeches around the country, a lot of live presentations, and it's the same thing when I'm doing Dr. Phil. I always like to look at the audience and kind of see who I'm talking to. You know, it's really interesting because people present really differently. Even though it might be a weekend speech or seminar I'm doing at a resort, here'll come this guy, he's all buttoned up, he's got on a sport coat and a tie, and he's got a nice haircut. I mean, he's coming in, and he's got all this on saying, hey, I'm credible. Look at the way I'm dressed. Then I'll look over to the right, and there's a guy over there that looks like he woke up 5 minutes before he got there, dove in the laundry basket, jumped out, everything is wrinkled, barely dressed, and says, hey, here I am. I'm laid back. Let's go see the bald guy. Make completely different statements. How about you? What is the statement you make? Look in the mirror and ask yourself, what do you communicate just by the way you present? Some people come in a room like a house afire. They blow through the double doors, knock them back into the wall. They come in making noise like a whirling dervish. They're the center of attention. They're just right in the middle of everything. Other people, they just drift in like a cool breeze, and they're just over by the side, standing against the wall, taking everything in. Is one way right and the other way wrong? No. Neither way's right or wrong. Everybody has their own way of being in the world. The main thing is that you know what you're projecting. What's your image? What are you putting out, and is it what you want to put out? I'm a people watcher. You probably guessed that by what I do, but I'm a people watcher. I'll never forget one time Jay was with me. We were traveling in New York, and we were flying out of LaGuardia back to Dallas. And that's at the end of one concourse, way at the end. Now, this was back before 9/11, so anybody could get on the concourse down by the gates. And as usual on a Friday night, everything is delayed. It's snowing outside. This is stacked up. And I swear to God, you look on this concourse, it looks like the bar scene in Star Wars. There's all kinds of creatures out there looking around. And so he and I are just standing over to the side, and we're watching people, and we're looking at this one guy. I say, Jay, hey, look at this guy over here. Now, this guy was gray. He had gray hair. He had on a gray suit. He had on a gray shirt. He had on a gray tie. He had on gray shoes. His skin was gray. His briefcase was gray. This guy was gray. He looked like Don Knotts, Barney Fife from the Andy Griffith Show. I mean, it looked like if you thumped him, he would fall down. And he's standing there kind of hunched over against the wall. All of a sudden, down the concourse, here come three guys. They're marching, goose-stepping down there, lockstep. These guys have got on leather jackets. They've got everything you can possibly pierce on your body pierced. They got chains going from their nose to their ears. They got tattoos everywhere. They got mohawks. I mean, their heads are tattooed. They're communicating, hey, we are bad dudes. They're stomping down, pushing people out of the way. And what happens? They catch Barney looking. They catch old Mr. Gray looking at him, and they turn on him. They're twice his size. They whirl on him, and they go over there and say, what are you looking at? Now, I usually mind my own business, but oh, wait a minute. I don't even know why I said that. That's not true. I don't always mind my own business, but I sure didn't this night. They're over there bullying this guy. What are you looking at? I couldn't help myself. I went over there and I said, what do you mean, what's he looking at? He's looking at you, you freaks. What do you expect? Did you get up this morning and put all these chains in your nose and your ears because you wanted to be under the radar? Are you kidding me? You do all this so people will look at you. So he's looking at you. So tell it walking, jerks. Now, about that time, I hear on the intercom, code 7 on the concourse, code 7 on. And Jay comes over and said, Dad, they're paging you again. Like, oh, God, here comes security. But look, here's the point. If you make a statement, own it. I don't care if these guys put a chain coming out of their brain. But if you do, own it. Don't have a statement that you make and then criticize people for reacting to your statement. If you go to work and you are authoritarian and you order everybody around and you act like you're King Kong, so everybody treats you like you're a cop or everybody treats you like you're the school principal, then don't get upset because nobody wants to go have lunch with you. Own your statement. And if you don't like your statement, then change your statement. I ask you to think about not what you do, but who you are and how you got to be there. From the time you were born, people have been writing on the slate of who you are. The way you were treated as you were a child, what your experiences were in school, did you succeed or fail academically, athletically, socially, what role you had in your family. Were you the clown? Were you the perfect kid? Were you the black sheep? I mean, whatever. People have written on the slate of who you are that have determined who you become. I always say to parents, we're not raising children, we're raising adults. And when you were 5 years old, your parents were raising the adult you have become today. Many people say that personalities are formed by the time you're 5, 6, 7 years old. Other researchers say that continues on into your 30s. But certainly, every day of your life, everywhere along the way, people are writing on the slate of who you are. And so that's who you are sitting in that chair today. You have a personal truth. You have a statement you make. I'm just asking you to evaluate the statement you make, ask yourself if it's the one you want to make, and then own it. Here's a good way to give yourself a test. Ask yourself honestly what you think people say about you when you're not around. Not what they say to your face, but what they say when you're not around. Give yourself enough credit to be big enough to think about what people say when you walk away. Do they say, that's a really nice person, I really like her, I really like him, or they are insufferable? Give yourself enough credit to consider what kind of statement you're making. And remember, a lot of what you communicate is nonverbal. Now, it's been said that 7% of all communication is verbal and the rest is nonverbal. That's true if all you're saying is hello, but then the more you talk, the less is nonverbal and the more is verbal. You have to look at your words. Do you speak aggressively? Are you in people's face? Do you violate their personal space? Ask yourself what statement you make, and then ask yourself whether or not that's what you want to make. But either way, you have to own it. Make no mistake, your kids are paying attention to the statement that you make. We always say, kids don't listen these days. Well, maybe they don't listen, but they're always watching. They may roll their eyes, they may look away, but make no mistake, your kids are watching. They're watching what kind of statements you make, and it may not be what you think they're watching. Let me give you an example. The most important role model in any child's life is the same-sex parent. A close second is the other sex parent. Now, you may think, okay, then if I cuss and yell, holler, and fight, then, okay, I'm being a bad role model. No, it's not just that. Take this example. Let's say you go to work every day, and every day you come home, and you're moaning and groaning and saying, oh, my God, I'm so tired. I hate that job. What are you communicating to your kids? You're communicating that what you do in life is you grow up and sell out. You grow up and go do something you do not want to do for someone you do not want to do it for, and sell out your life, and weeks turn into months, months turn into years, years turn into a lifetime, and you're teaching them that's what's in their future. And then you're going to expect them to grow up and be unique individuals that fight for what they believe in? I don't think so. Ask yourself if you're doing what you don't want to do and coming home and complaining about it every day is teaching your children to grow up and do what they don't want to do and complain about it every day.